Why did James McNeill Whistler refuse to admit that he was born in Lowell, Massachusetts? I mean, the guy was born in Lowell, Massachusetts, spends his first 3 years there before moving to Connecticut and then Springfield and finally Russia. When he comes back to the United States of America, he decides he's going to spend his career in the military and he goes to West Point to be a fighting man and luckily fails all of his tests, particularly chemistry. He says later, if silicon were a gas, then I'd be a major general. But the commandant of the school, Robert E. Lee, expels him, which makes him go, now what? So he goes to Europe to study art. And it's a great timing. This is when Japanese art becomes available to Westerners, and he falls in love with the cartoonish like flatness of it, the block printing. He loves the monochromatic blotches of color that will become famous in his later night scenes and nocturnes. The problem is he still really wants to be in a war. He wants to fight. So after a failed attempt at revolution in Ireland, he sails to Chile to participate in their revolution, paints Valparaiso Harbor, paints his first nocturnes, his night scenes, and they're looking amazing. He goes back to Europe to sell them, and that's where he paints his mother, his most famous painting, and everything's going great. But in the height of his fame, an art critic named John Ruskin says that one of his nocturnes looks like he has just flung a bucket of paint at the public's face. And so he sues the guy for libel. It's a terrible idea. He goes bankrupt. The trial's a bad idea. But at the trial, they ask him, you're born in Lowell, right? And he says, and I quote, I shall be born when and where I want, and I do not choose to be born in Lowell. So he didn't like it, apparently. But the joke's on him, because the house that he was born in will become the Whistler House Museum of Art. You can still visit it today in Lowell, so ha ha ha.